Joshua chapter 18. Then the whole congregation of the people of Israel assembled at Shiloh and set up the tent of meeting there. The land lay subdued before them. There remained among the people of Israel 7 tribes whose inheritance had not yet been apportioned. So Joshua said to the people of Israel, "How long will you put off going in to take possession of the land, which the Lord, the God of your fathers, has given you? Provide 3 men from each tribe, and I will send them out, that they may set out and go up and down the land. They shall write a description of it with a view to their inheritance, and then come to me. They shall divide it into 7 portions. Judah shall continue in his territory on the south, and the house of Joseph shall continue in their territory on the north. And you shall describe the land in 7 divisions, and bring the description here to me. And I will cast lots for you here before the Lord our God. The Levites have no portion among you, for the priesthood of the Lord is their heritage. And Gad and Reuben and the half-tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance beyond the Jordan eastward, which Moses the servant of the Lord gave them." So the men arose and went, and Joshua charged those who went to write the description of the land, saying, "Go up and down in the land, and write a description, and return to me, and I will cast lots for you here before the Lord in Shiloh." So the men went and passed up and down the land, and wrote in a book a description of it, by towns in 7 divisions. Then they came to Joshua to the camp at Shiloh, and Joshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before the Lord. And there Joshua apportioned the land to the people of Israel, to each his portion. The lot of the tribe of the people of Benjamin, according to its clans, came up, and the territory allotted to it fell between the people of Judah and the people of Joseph. On the north side, their boundary began at the Jordan. Then the boundary goes up to the shoulder north of Jericho, then up through the hill country westward, and it ends at the wilderness of Beth-aven. From there, the boundary passes along southward in the direction of Luz, to the shoulder of Luz, that is Bethel. Then the boundary goes down to Ataroth Adar, on the mountain that lies south of lower Beth Horon. Then the boundary goes in another direction, turning on the western side southward from the mountain that lies to the south, opposite Beth Horon, and it ends at Kiriath Baal, that is Kiriath Jearim, a city belonging to the people of Judah. This forms the western side. The southern side began at the outskirts of Kiriath Jearim on the west, and the boundary came out at the spring of the waters of Nephtoah. The boundary went down to the foot of the hill facing the valley of Ben Hinnom, north of the valley of Rephaim. It continued down to the Hinnom Valley, along the southern slope of the Jebusite city, and so to En Rogel. It then curved north, went to En Shemesh, continued to Geliloth, which faces the pass of Adamim, and ran down to the stone of Bohan, son of Reuben. It continued to the north slope of Beth Arabah, and on down into the Arabah. It then went to the northern slope of Beth Hoglah, and came out at the northern bay of the Dead Sea, at the mouth of the Jordan in the south. This was the southern boundary. The Jordan formed the boundary on the eastern side. These were the boundaries that marked out the inheritance of the clans of Benjamin on all sides. The tribe of Benjamin, according to its clans, had the following towns: Jericho, Beth Hoglah, Amek Kaziz, Beth Arabah, Zemaraim, Bethel, Avim, Parah, Ophrah, Kephar Ammoni, Ophni and Geba, 12 towns and their villages. Gibeon, Ramah, Beeroth, Mizpah, Kephirah, Mozah, Rechem, Irpeel, Taralah, Zelah, Haleph, the Jebusite city, that is, Jerusalem, Gibeah and Kiriath, 14 towns and their villages. This was the inheritance of Benjamin for its clans. Chapter 19. The second lot came out for the tribe of Simeon according to its clans. Their inheritance lay within the territory of Judah. It included Beersheba or Sheba, Moladah, Hazar Shual, Bela, Ezim, Eltolad, Bethul, Hormah, Ziklag, Beth Markaboth, Hazar Susa, Beth Labath, and Sheruhen, 13 towns and their villages. Ain, Rimmon, Ether, and Ashan, 4 towns and their villages, and all the villages around these towns, as far as Baalath Beer, Ramah in the Negev. This was the inheritance of the tribe of the Simeonites, according to its clans. The inheritance of the Simeonites was taken from the share of Judah, because Judah's portion was more than they needed. So the Simeonites received their inheritance within the territory of Judah. The third lot came up for Zebulun according to its clans. The boundary of their inheritance went as far as Sarid. Going west, it ran to Maralah, touched Dabasheth, and extended to the ravine near Jokneam. It turned east from Sarid, toward the sunrise to the territory of Kisloth Tabor, and went on to Dabaroth and up to Japhia. Then it continued eastward to Gath Hefer and Eth Kazin. It came out to Rimmon and turned toward Neah. There the boundary went around on the north to Hanathon and ended at the valley of Iftah El. Included were Katah, Nahalal, Shimron, Idalah, and Bethlehem. There were 12 towns and their villages. This was the inheritance of the sons of Zebulun, according to their families, these cities with their villages. The fourth lot went to Issachar, to the sons of Issachar, according to their families. Their territory was to Jezreel, and included Cheseloth, Shunem, Hapharaim, Shion, and Anaharath, Rabith, Kishion, and Ebez, Remeth, Inganim, Inhadah, and Beth-Pazez. The border reached to Tabor, Shahuzama, and Beth-Shemesh, and their border ended at the Jordan, 16 cities with their villages. This was the inheritance of the tribe of the sons of Issachar, according to their families, the cities with their villages. Now the fifth lot went to the tribe of the sons of Asher, according to their families. Their territory was Helkath, Hali, Beten, and Achshaph, Elamelech, Amad, and Mishal, and it reached to Carmel on the west, and Sihor Libnath. It turned toward the east to Beth Dagon, and reached Zebulun, and to the valley of Iftahel, northward to Beth Emek and Nael. Then it proceeded on north to Cabul, Ebron, Rehob, Hammon, and Cana, as far as Great Sidon. The border turned to Ramah, and to the fortified city of Tyre. Then the border turned to Hosah, and it ended at the sea by the region of Achzib. Included also were Ummah, Aphek, and Rehob, 22 cities with their villages. This was the inheritance of the tribe of the sons of Asher, according to their families, these cities with their villages. The sixth lot went to the sons of Naphtali, to the sons of Naphtali, according to their families. Their border was from Haleph, from the oak in Zananim, and Adami Nekeb, and Jabneel, as far as Lakum, and it ended at the Jordan. Then the border turned westward to Asnath Tabor, and proceeded from there to Hukok, and it reached Zebulun on the south, and reached Asher on the west, and Judah at the Jordan toward the east. The fortified cities were Ziddim, Zer, Hamath, Rakoth, and Chinnereth, Adamah, Ramah, and Hazor, Kadesh, Edrei, and En-Hazor, Euron, Migdal-El, Horem, Beth-Anath, and Beth-Shemesh, 19 cities with their villages. This was the inheritance of the tribe of the sons of Naphtali, according to their families, the cities with their villages. The seventh lot went to the tribe of the sons of Dan according to their families. The territory of their inheritance was Zorah, Eshtaol, and Ir-Shemesh, Shalabin, Ajalon, and Ethlah, Elon, Timnah, and Ekron, Eltekeh, Gibbethon, and Baaloth, Jehud, Benabarak, and Gath-Rimmon, Me-Jarkon, and Rakkon, with the territory opposite Joppa. The territory of the sons of Dan proceeded beyond them, for the sons of Dan went up and fought with Leshem and captured it. Then they struck it with the edge of the sword, and took possession of it and settled in it. And they named Leshem Dan, after the name of their father, Dan. This was the inheritance of the tribe of the sons of Dan, according to their families, these cities with their villages. When they finished apportioning the land for inheritance by its borders, the sons of Israel gave an inheritance among them to Joshua the son of Nun. In accordance with the command of the Lord, they gave him the city for which he asked, Timnath-Serah, in the hill country of Ephraim. So he built the city and settled in it. These are the inheritances which Eleazar the priest, Joshua the son of Nun, and the heads of the fathers' households of the tribes of the sons of Israel, apportioned by lot in Shiloh, before the Lord, at the doorway of the tent of meeting. So they finished dividing the land. Chapter 20. Then the Lord spoke to Joshua, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, saying, Designate the cities of refuge, of which I spoke to you through Moses, so that no one who commits manslaughter by killing a person unintentionally, without premeditation, may flee there, and they shall become your refuge from the avenger of blood. Then he shall flee to one of these cities, and shall stand at the entrance of the gate of the city, and state his case in the presence of the elders of that city. And they shall receive him into the city to them, and give him a place, so that he may remain among them. Now if the avenger of blood pursues him, then they are not to hand the one who committed manslaughter over to him, since he struck his neighbor without premeditation, and did not hate him previously. And he shall remain in that city until he stands before the congregation for judgment, until the death of the one who is high priest in those days. Then he shall return to his own city, and to his own house, to the city from which he fled. The following cities were designated as cities of refuge: Kadesh of Galilee, in the hill country of Naphtali, Shechem, in the hill country of Ephraim, and Kiriath Arba, that is, Hebron, in the hill country of Judah. On the east side of the Jordan River, across from Jericho, the following cities were designated: Bezer, in the wilderness plain of the tribe of Reuben, Ramoth in Gilead, in the territory of the tribe of Gad, and Golan in Bashan, in the land of the tribe of Manasseh. These cities were set apart for all the Israelites as well as the foreigners living among them. Anyone who accidentally killed another person could take refuge in one of these cities. In this way, they could escape being killed in revenge prior to standing trial before the local assembly.